It is that time of year again. It is almost time to go back to school. Wow, I can't believe that. Hi, guys. Welcome to Broke Teachers Travel Podcast. I'm Marnie.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're going to help you with some of your back to school needs. This actually will help you save some money, we hope.
And again, whenever we give you these hacks or these tips, whatever you would have normally spent, take that money and put it in your travel fund.
Okay? Yes. First of all, think about quality over quantity when you're buying school supplies. This is important because it helps you not have to purchase things again. This is a big one to me. And I don't mean you have to go buy high-end anything, but just stuff that you know will last and know is good. It's so important. One of the first things that I always check for our kids is the dress code at their school. Check, see if there have been any updates, anything like that. That way, whatever you purchase should take you through the entire year with no problems. Hopefully. Unless they change anything.
And some people are a little picky about this, but I see all the time that if your school has a uniform policy or something like that, a lot of times parents whose kids have outgrown clothes will, put those online or something, donate it, or even sell them or something like that. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so for teachers and students, comfortable shoes, that's an important thing. But give them a little bit of room to grow, okay? Because we know that kids, their feet
grow so fast
at an amazing rate. So, we're not talking about dressing them in clown shoes, but give them a little room to grow because on average, a kid's going to go through one or two pair of shoes, a year in those early years. Also, there's a lot of different places you could check, like Ross and places like that for shoes. We just saw a good deal on some Hokas.
Yeah, they had Hokas and Ultras, which are really high-end running shoes.
That were normally $125. They had them for $80. Also, that would be a place that I would recommend that you look for cleats and basketball shoes and things like that as well.
Occasionally they do get them. Yeah, you just have to keep an eye out on everything. And make sure, teachers, that your shoes are comfortable because we are on our feet all day and we are moving, and comfort is a priority. If you're miserable, it's going to be reflected in your mood and how you feel throughout the day. So make sure your shoes feel good.
And I think that's for probably any profession that people are on their feet, but especially for us, because I know that I'm not a sit at the desk kind of guy. I'm up, constantly. And I know for you, you even have a desk? Okay.
I have a desk. I think I've seen one in my room somewhere.
Okay.
Passing.
So shoes are important. Also those mats, we mentioned those. I can't remember what they're called, but.
Oh yeah, like the standing mat, the gel mats.
Yeah.
Those are really good too if you lecture.
Right. Yeah. If you're up a lot. So, okay. Good deal. All right. So what else do we do?
Check the weekly ads.
Check those to see what's going on. And again, when we start getting ready for school, I like a lot of times to not just prepare the week of school or the week right before.
No.
Because, start looking, kind of midsummer, hey, what's these shoes? That's the best time because we know just like, in any business, that prime season, they jack up the price of everything. So.
And they run out of things as well.
Oh, that's
things
true.
You'll need. Yeah, I've had that happen many times, and you have to go to the teacher and say, give it a week. Let's see if they restock.
Right.
It happens. It's part of life. Make sure also that you check the office supply stores. Believe it or not, sometimes they can beat the deals at the big box stores.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot of times. And, sometimes they're trading out products or going a different route. I think about 5 years ago, I bought push pins and I still have.
We still have push pins.
Yeah, I still have probably 10 boxes of them. So.
Yeah, it was when Office Max and Office Depot were merging.
Yep.
And yeah, we hit a huge sale on push pins and paper clips and some other things, and we still have a lot of them.
And sometimes if you're one of these people that use a lot of dry erase boards and other than the big ones that may be in your classroom or bulletin boards or things like that, check thrift shops, Goodwills, a lot of those things people are in there. I picked up a bulletin board the other day, a cork board, I guess is what it's called, for like $3, and it was $20 in one of the big box stores. So.
Oh yeah, those things are really, really expensive. You do have to watch out for the sales and see if you can find them somewhere, because they get super pricey, especially the whiteboards. They get really expensive.
And the ones that I see all the time at these thrift shops are the big ones that have the calendars on them, which I think is pretty cool for a lot of different ages.
Yeah.
You know, because I know a lot of us put it all on our, you know, on the internet and on our class website and all of that stuff. But you know, just to have a picture of it and kind of know where things are and
Yeah.
you know, exit out when you know, kids kind of like seeing that as well.
Yeah. One of the things you can think about, college students and professors, going paperless. That can actually save you money. It might be a little bit of an upfront investment. I know our daughter adores her iPad for class notes. She has the pencil and she writes all of her notes on there, and there's so much you can do with it. So she has gone completely paperless, and it is amazing. She has saved so much money that way.
And one of the things that I will give the great, you know, caveat to this is that just because for us it's odd doesn't mean it is for the kids.
They have been raised in the digital age.
You know, and for me, I still print out everything, and I still, you know, give my kids handouts, and I am not paperless by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But I also have everything loaded into my Canvas so that the kids can have access to that as well.
Right.
And so, you know, it's kind of, I guess it's just a preference. But like Marnie said, you know, how much money can you save just going paperless? And it's quite a bit.
Yeah. And the next one is one you should be familiar with. You should have a stash of them at school, I think.
Are those pencils?
No, the reusable containers of mine that you take to
Oh,
school for
my gosh.
lunch.
Okay, so one of the big things, and some of you guys in any business, you know, not just teaching, but
No.
in anything, you know, going out for lunch, and I know for some people it's a social deal, but for teachers, you know, when we only have the 25 minutes, you know, we bring our own lunch, and it's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper than, you know, I for a while I had a couple friends, and every day we had our planning periods worked out, so one of us would go and get lunch, and then, you know, I'm sitting there looking, and I'm spending $50 a week on lunch when I could eat leftovers for virtually free. And so, you know, have those little containers, bring your leftovers in. Generally, it's a lot more healthy. Just the one thing, do remember to bring those containers home.
Yes, please.
You know, because, you know, if you leave them in the refrigerator for a week or two, there's some pretty cool science experiments that could go on in there. But yeah, because toward the end of the year, I brought home a few, and Marnie was not happy with them.
They were gross. Okay, I have one, and I know some schools don't approve this, most do, but this to me has been a big money saver, a time saver. It's helpful. It's the Better Than Paper bulletin board covering. It is a thin vinyl with almost like a fabric backing. It can be reused year after year, and that's what's amazing. It doesn't fade. You can put push pins in it. You can staple through it. I'm about to put mine up for the 3rd year. The same paper, just different stuff on it to make it look a little different. And this stuff is virtually indestructible, and I absolutely love it. So $18 to $20 for a roll of this, and it lasts you for years, and you don't have to worry about it tearing. You can just change what's on top, and you've got a beautiful background. It's awesome. It really is a money saver.
And you know, not so much for the middle school and the high school teachers so much, but I do know for the elementary school teachers, you guys change that bulletin board
A lot.
Yeah, where, you know, I may or may not do it at the beginning and stay there the whole year or 2 years or 3 years. But when you're talking about changing a bulletin board 5, 6, 7 times a year at 20 or 30
it's more
bucks,
than that. Yeah.
20 or 30 bucks a pop, then I'm sure that you know, what is it called again?
Better Than Paper.
Better Than Paper would be an option that would definitely help you save some money that you could tuck away to your.
I know Amazon has it, and a couple of the craft stores have it as well. And it's really, like I said, it's great. It really is. In fact, I even use it on one of my walls for our de-stressing center. I have it in there, so it makes it look like its own little room almost, because it's like a wooden background. And I teach 3 and 4 year olds, and it's fine. It hasn't torn. It hasn't done anything. It's like I said, virtually indestructible.
One of the things that I kind of think of that, when it comes to school supplies, there are some things that it's just fine, just get us through. But there's some things like pencils, pens, markers that find the kind that work the best, that are the highest quality. Because if not, for example, Ticonderoga pencils is one of my
The best,
it's
hands down.
and it's one of those things that every time I get them, I try to order just that, and I'm sure other ones are good, but for me, they don't jam the pencil sharpeners. They
write smoothly. They don't break.
Those kind of things. But again, if you go low end on some of this stuff, then you end up buying twice as many.
Yeah.
Or the kids, they don't have the stuff that they need, things like that. So there are certain things. The other thing is like markers, for example. The better markers, the higher end, generally the better named, tend to last longer. So if your kid has some project and they do a lot of
coloring
and things like that with that, I would recommend that you go with a little bit better brand.
I agree. That's even like for us. I tend to find that the Expo markers seem to hold up better than a lot of the others.
Okay.
I mean, just personally, we go through a lot because we use different things to teach the children to write, and they tend to work better for me. I mean, if anybody else knows of any other ones, please let me know, because I would love to know if there's something else out there.
And sometimes, what's really interesting to me is, Dollar Trees and places like that. I found like Sharpie markers that are, $3 or $4 a piece in the big box stores that are literally $1.25 or $1.50. And so those are savings to me. So again, all of these things, again, there are the big box stores, there are the office supply places, things like that. And just, one of the things as far as supplies, by the third or fourth week of school, try to have them in there for your kids. It's not mandatory that first or second week, but try to get it in by the third week.
Absolutely. Now, one of the biggest things I think we've ever had to pay for as school supplies are the scientific calculators.
Oh, yeah.
Those are so expensive. They're well over $100 for most of them. Some of them just under, most of them over. But I found one of the ways you can save on this is Target. I know it's my go-to for a lot of things, but that 5% that you save using a red card, that can add up quickly on one of those big calculators. Look for the sales, check. I mean, Target may not be the best on that, but look for the sales, compare the prices, and remember, if you have younger children that could possibly use this in a few years, hold on to it. And if not, sell it when your child is done.
And one of the things, don't freak out about it necessarily, because if your kid takes a higher math, algebra 2, geometry, trig, calculus, that calculator can follow them through college as well, because there are some very good ones out there. I think the Texas Instrument was always our go-to.
It seems to be the go-to for most math teachers that I've heard. Yeah.
And again, if you could find that, 25% off, $100. So now you're putting $25 into your travel account.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. The other places you can check, actually, if you're willing to buy bigger quantities or have multiple children, Sam's and Costco. That can be a great place to get school supplies. I know our daughter used to love the clickable Papermate pencils, the mechanical pencils. And if you buy like a 2-pack, I think they're close to $8 now at Walmart and Target. But if you go to Sam's, you can get like, I think it's 6 or 8 of them for like $14. And that's a big savings.
And sometimes in Sam's, and I've noticed this now that we go there, up in the office supplies, sometimes they'll have, the other day they had Sharpies marked down, and it was like
they'll clearance things.
Yeah, and it was like $6 off of
No. As a teacher, check the Sam's office supply. I think it was last year, I found the laminating sheets there for $9 a box. And I laminate everything in my classroom. And it was a major deal. Those are usually really expensive, and I must have bought 4 or 5 packs of those. I still have some to use for this year, which is great. That has saved me a ton of money. So always check those office supplies there.
All right, the next couple are, kind of not middle school or high school oriented, so I'm going to let you
Yeah,
handle
I'll
those.
take those. Pencils with designs. Yes, they're cute. Yes, your kids are going to ask for them because they are cute, but they are not practical for school. Maybe get them a couple to have at home, but they mess up pencil sharpeners. They ruin them. And the pencils don't hold up. They break easily. The lead breaks all the time. So try to use something a little better for school and keep the cute ones at home. Another thing, as the teacher of very young children, nap mats. Check to see what your child's teacher prefers, because some teachers do have a preference. And if they don't have a preference, get whatever fits your budget. If you want to look into something like a combo situation, they make it's almost like a sleeping bag that doesn't zip. It's a blanket that folds over them, and it has a pillow built into it, and they just roll it up like a little bed roll when they're done.
Do they make those in like teacher sizes?
I know, right? I would love that.
Yeah, I would like,
That would be
I'm envious of this nap stuff that you
But
guys
it
do.
really, it makes it easy for the child, if the teacher's okay with them having it. It makes it easy for them to learn to be independent and to put it away themselves. They just put the blanket in, roll it up, secure the Velcro, and put it in their cubby. They're good to go, and they have learned the lesson of being independent.
And see, for us in middle school and high school, when we talk about snacks, those are things that teachers expect the kids to bring to us. Okay, but for Marnie and the young ones, they have a little different view of
Snacks can be something that's some teachers prefer to have their own snacks for the kids, and some prefer for the kids to bring in the ones from home. It's just up to your teacher, but whatever they want, if you are supplying the snack, I would not recommend buying big quantities of it, because small children tend to change their minds quite often, and they may like something one day and they may not touch it 2 days later.
Now,
it's just a fact of life.
Now, for the middle school kids, the high school kids, they're kind of set in their way. It seems. Been my experience that if they
that's true. Older elementary, middle school, high school, they kind of have the things that they like. Absolutely. We've had band kids. Anything there?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Buy band supplies ahead of time. Don't wait until the rush the first week. The first couple of weeks of school, it doesn't matter where you live or what it is. There's going to be a shortage of everything. And band kids, whether it's valve oil or reeds
slide
or
grease, reeds,
any of those things. Order it ahead of time. Or if your kid was a band kid last year and plans on being in the band again, don't wait to the last minute to try to do it, because you have millions of band kids all over the country, all vying for this very, very small amount of whatever it is.
And don't let them tell you it's fine, I've got enough. Buy some extra anyway. Because trust me, when they think they have enough, it's never enough. Right. It never works out that way.
And one thing that I've always found with our kids especially is that, just because we have the forethought or our kids have the forethought doesn't mean all of their friends have. And so, it does help if one
our
of your
kids
friends
have always shared.
Yeah,
yes.
If they absolutely need something. So again, it's kind
band
of
is a family. That's
right.
what you do. Yep. Yeah. Teachers, please, please, please don't require your students to buy high-end things. That's not it. It's not in our budget. It's never been in our budget to buy the high-end things. I think we need to really stop and think about that when we make our wish list or our class supply list, that keep it reasonable.
And again, when we say the high-end things, I mean, again, don't scrimp on things like the markers and the pencils. Right. But, if it's headphones or things like that, oftentimes the kids use it, it doesn't do any good to get your kids a $200 or $300 headphones that may get lost or stolen or something like that. So, I would go with very kind of basic stuff, especially if you're talking about what tends to be higher end items to begin with.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And if you, as a parent or a teacher who is a parent, can't afford the school supply list, and there have been times we've not been able to afford everything on the school supply list because the list seemed to grow sometimes, reach out to the teacher. Let them know. They're people too. They understand. Everyone has a budget to work with. That is part of life. Let them know there are resources that we have as teachers that sometimes we can help. And, let your families feel comfortable. Help them. That's why we're here. We want to make the connection with the families and let them know that we are people too, and we don't expect them to spend all that money on stuff.
And if you're in a position where you could help out, instead of, and one of the things that is kind of different, middle school, high school versus elementary school is, the other day they were like, hey, you got to get your classroom listing of what the kids need. And I'm like, just a couple notebooks and some paper. That's what they need.
Yeah.
And I remember when our kids were young, they would require, it would be like $150 worth of stuff, and it would be
brand names, everything,
huge amounts of stuff that our kids wouldn't even use that amount. So again, that's one of the things that if you can help and donate an extra box of pencils or something like that, then
it's helpful.
By all means do that. But again, with anything that we save, put it back toward our travel.
Yes.
That's the big thing. And again, these are just some of the things that we talk about. One of my big thing is I'm always about a deal. Okay.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I never noticed that about you.
It is about the deal. I mean, I come from good deal seekers, and it's in my genetics, and that's just how that works, and it's in our kids.
It's kind
genetics.
of a family thing.
But one of the big things is, if you can, a lot of people, we rush out to get everything right off the bat. Target, Walmart, in general, get enough to get you by.
The basics.
The basics, but understand that stuff is going to go on sale at some point, usually a week or two after.
Especially paper and notebooks.
And you're talking about what 2 weeks ago would cost you $100 will cost you $50 or even $25. Okay.
Yeah.
So the day after Thanksgiving candy and second week of school, those are the two greatest deals, especially with the big box stores. So keep that in mind. And so as a teacher, have some notebooks, have a pencil, something to write with the first couple of days. But if we need anything beyond that, I give it to them and say, hey, you could wait. I don't need this right now.
Yeah.
So kind of be a little patient with that, because that can save a lot of money for a lot
Absolutely, 100%. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Remember, hit that like button, follow us on social media, check out our website. We're at broketeacherstravel.com. Have a great school year this year. And remember, break the monotony,
not the bank.
Bye, guys.
Have a good day.